Hey, hello everyone. Welcome back to the channel. This is Praveen here. I hope you guys are extremely doing good. So in today's video, we will be talking about what is SRE, what is DevOps, everything you need to know. And this all important real-time scenario-based questions, what is MTTR, what is uptime, what is the difference between the SRE and DevOps, and so-called, what are the major criteria that interviewers are looking for an SRE engineer and a DevOps engineer. Everything will be revealed in this day 14 of week 4 free DevOps and SRE course, which we were conducting on the YouTube channel. And thank you all. If you are liking the content, like the video and subscribe to the channel if you are new to the channel. So going ahead, let's start the class. Let me share my screen and let's see like what are the things that are kept for you in today's class. So let me share my screen. I will start with this slide. Let me bring it down. Let me do a slideshow. So basically, we will first see what is the difference between an SRE and an DevOps. And many of you were confused between these two terms. And don't worry, let's go ahead and see. And very, very simple. For a fresher to experience what is a major difference, I'm going to tell in detail, right? So basically SRE, Site Reliability Engineering, right? And DevOps, as we all know, it's a combination of development and an operations team, right? So the person who takes the responsibility of an SRE is basically a site reliability engineering role, and a person who does some kind of development, automation, operations work is called as an DevOps engineer, right? Going ahead, I have divided into the separate tracks. So let's see one by one track, what does actually the SRE and DevOps means. Now, if you see, SRE takes care of the operations work. Similarly, DevOps has the operations work also. So both goes same to same. But when we talk about operations, it's mainly you have to maintain some things. You have to maintain the site. Now, when we call it as a site, you understand that you are sitting in a room, right? That room is your site, right? So what do you need to do to take care of your room? You need to clean your room. You need to make sure your cupboard is looking good. You have to change your bed sheets on the bed. You have to clean your table, chair, everything. So it means SRE is a person who takes care in a proper, neat and beautiful way of the sites. Sites means where the application is deployed. Okay. And DevOps comes in terms of delivery, right? How fast you are delivering the things, how fast you are helping the or like development teams to achieve their end goals, right? So DevOps is all about delivery, the rapid delivery, right? And SRE is all about maintaining the site or the or you can say like wherever the application is deployed, maintaining that particular zone in a proper way, in the sense it's not having any downtime, it's not having any issues. The application is running 24/7, 365 days successfully, right? Now you see SRE has an incident response. Now let's assume what is incident response. Very much important, and usually interviewer will ask all these pointers whatever I am telling. Incident response is nothing but when an issue comes in your site. This is your site, application is deployed here, and now this application or the site is having the issue. That's where the incident gets opened. One notification will come to the SRE engineer and it gets popped up into the email or a phone where the person is responsible for making sure that incident is managed by him end to end. And you will see what are the main components of the incident as we go ahead in the slides. Very, very much important. Now, DevOps comes at the same time, release automation. Your CICD is there, your maybe GitLab automations is there, GitLab CICD is there. Everything we will be discussing going ahead deeply. Now, before going ahead to the third point, let me tell you, we have already started the batch 4.0, which is the prime batch 4.0. All the links are in the description. 50% off is still going on. If anyone is interested, please do join yourself, where we will be teaching excellent to excellent topics, and it is basically a job ready content. Whatever the companies have cracked, all the interview questions, the real-time scenarios, the 12+ projects, the hands-on 3 hours plus live sessions, everything is for you guys. You are a fresher, you can join. You are an experienced, you can join. You are No one, you can join definitely because Singham is here. Why to fear? So let's go ahead. Let's see like what is postmortems. Now, postmortem is something in SRE. Once the site is there, the site has an issue. Now, the postmortem, how you go ahead as an SRE engineer, what are the debuggings you found out? What are the log analysis you have done? What are the issues you have found? How you are achieving different kinds of steps to resolve that issue. These all comes under your postmortems. At the same time, when DevOps comes into picture, you will see various kinds of environment builds. Let's take, you have a dev, then you have to build QA, right? So I'm talking about environment builds, dev, QA, right? Then you have stage, then you have prod. So DevOps is all about maintaining environments and maintaining builds, right? Environment builds, pipelines, release automation, CICD, everything comes into picture. Now you see monitoring events and alerts. The SRE plays an important role in making sure whatever the site is, right? And this small tiny application is sitting on this. So how this application, when it is having an error, it will throw out the details to the SRE team. Suppose the SRE team is sitting in India and this site is present in USA. How this site will tell to the SRE engineer sitting in India that, hey boss, there is an issue, is with the help of your monitoring, events and alerting. These three factors plays an important role in a SRE. And once some issue comes, let's take CPU is not good for your system, right? Memory is not good for your system. Your application is down now. Immediately, this will send alerts to your SRE team, and that's where the SRE team pitches in and tries to resolve that issue. Now, if you see the similar lines we have in DevOps is all about your configuration management. You have Ansible, you have basically your chef, perfect, how you make sure your configuration of all the tools, right? Because I always tell DevOps, each DevOps tools comes with the configuration. So this is a configuration file, this is a DevOps tool. Both go hand in hand. Very beautiful, right? You should understand that Jenkins, there is a Jenkins file, right? Ansible, there is a playbook.yml, and even Ansible.configuration file is there, right? And every tool has its own configuration file, which makes it different from others, right? Now, capacity planning, very, very much important, guys. Now, you see, let's take an example of Flipkart. All of you are aware, right? In Flipkart, what happens? You have your big billion sale, yes, which happens usually yearly once, right? So you need to understand when the sale is happening for the Flipkart as a big billion sale, the servers have to be rolled up, right? It means we are doing the scaling of the servers so that whatever the incoming traffic is, these servers are able to withstand, right? That is very much important. Now let's assume that from 10 servers for the big billion sale, I made it 10 times. It means 100 servers I have maintained, right? Now, in this 100 servers, my big billion sale completed. From 3rd February to 15th February, my big billion sale is completed. Now, I have to make sure this 100 servers, whether I need it or not, because big billion sale is completed, my traffic will be less. Number of users hitting my Flipkart will be less, and also the maintenance cost I have to reduce. So that is where your capacity planning comes into picture. Not only Flipkart, if you sell and if you take end of season sale for Myntra, right, at that time also all the infra is scaled up, and then they do the capacity planning, like at a particular point of time, what kind of servers, what type of servers, how many servers, right? All those plays an important role. Basically, it deals with your budget. So SRE plays an important role in making sure the capacity is planned properly. Now, in the similar terms, DevOps plays an important role in making or playing with the infrastructure as a code, which comes as a Terraform, widely used in various platforms. So you can see DevOps creates the environment. This guy actually works on that environment, make sure their stability, reliability, scalability, everything is good, right? So infrastructure as a code, DevOps person writes the Terraform scripts and spins up various kinds of instances, your load balancers, your Route 53, any kind of components in any cloud, this Terraform can help you. Now, going ahead, the primary focus of SRE is all about reliability, right? At any given point of time, how good your site is performing, how good your application is performing, whether it is having zero downtime or not, is the primary focus of SRE. Now, the primary focus of DevOps is all about delivery, how fast you can deliver so that the development teams are happy, the development managers are happy. At the end, you are happy with your manager, right? So I hope this is making you very much differentiating between the SRE and DevOps. Let's go ahead and you will see a beautiful slide here. Now, in DevOps and SRE, there is a common term where people use. This is basically divided into three segments. That is SLA, SLI, SLO. Now, I will tell you in detail about this. Just listen, okay? And I have kept in order AIO, okay? So remember like that. Now, you need to know SLA, right? SL is basically in DevOps and SRE terminology. It's service level, okay? Service level means we as in DevOps and SRE team are giving services to our customers. Who are our customers? Our actual customers, our development teams, our other managers, all are our customers. Now, SLA is nothing but service level agreement. Now, let's assume that there is a product, right? And this product, this Flipkart app has to onboard it, right? And for this product to get it onboarded onto the Flipkart app, this product has to give some things to this product, right? Then only they both will talk with each other. Now, in simpler terms, just assume that now Flipkart has an SRE team, correct? Now, this product, because it believed Flipkart, right? Now, it is getting onboarded onto this, means the entire development, operations, everything Flipkart team is doing. Now, you assume that this product is completely taken care by Flipkart. Now, Flipkart and the product, X product is talking now, right? This is the, maybe this is the client, and this is the, you can consider like a company which is helping its client. Okay. Now this client is coming to this company and they both are talking with each other. Now this company is telling that, hey boss, I will give you agreement. I am telling about agreement. Okay. That's where your client will be happy. Okay. Now agreement, you see, listen carefully. Agreement is nothing but this Flipkart company will tell to this X product company that, hey, I will make sure your application is 99.99999% available, which means that maybe less than a second, I will make sure your application is down. This is one agreement. The second agreement will be, you can consider like, from my team, I will be dedicatedly assigning 4 team members to this product to maintain their stability, reliability, scalability, monitoring, everything. So it means that this manager is telling to this manager that, first, I will be making sure that your application is 99.9999% available. Second, I will give 4 dedicated resources from my team. And third, any issues which is happening, we will resolve that issues within 30 minutes. Okay, these 3, this Flipkart is actually telling to this X company that we will be able to do that, right? Now, this is called as agreement, right? You see client and user, right? So client is our X product and user is our Flipkart. Now you see SLO. SLO is nothing but service level objective. Now agreement was between client and a company. Objectives are inside our team. Now the manager has talked with the client. Okay. Now his work is done. They both go their homes or wherever they go. Now your manager comes to your team, right? Your team members are 6 members, right? Now you remember we dedicatedly, your manager told that I will give 4 resources, right? Now he has to confirm to his team, right? Remember in your brain, right? Imagine now this person will talk to this 4 people. He will select the 4 people. Anyways, all will be there. Now objectives will be set. Now what are the objectives? Right? Objectives are like your aims which are set within your team. Okay. Now this 5 persons are there in the team. Now your manager tells, I have promised 99.999% availability. Now, how we will achieve it? They will set some standards here. They will tell that they will give 24/7 monitoring. They will, anyways, they are assigning 4 dedicated resource and they will spin up more instances so that availability is more. So those kind of objectives, this team will set, and the objectives are always greater than your agreements, right? Then only you will achieve, right? Always aims are more than your goals, right? So we need to aim something and we need to set the goal. So objectives are greater than your agreement, then only we will be able to achieve your agreement, right? So you see, the objectives a service provider must achieve to meet the agreement, right? So it's like vice versa. So objectives will point to agreement. So objectives are always greater than agreement. Now comes to your indicators. Now what are indicators? These are like your measurement, actual ground terms. Now your manager has got the product. It is success. This project has come to your team. Now he has set some goals into your team, objectives, that is also good. Now, when actually the team is working on the product, now what are the indicators? You see, the real number of performance. How did the service provider do this job? Very much important. So indicators are nothing but, okay, you told that 99.99% availability you will give, but let's assume that Thursday morning there is an issue, or Friday morning there is an issue. It means that how those indicators are doing, right? Or let's assume that there is a transaction which is happening from X region to Y region, right? And there is some latency, right? So how you are trying to measure that latency, whether you are giving good performance or not, whether you are actually working on those objectives or not, are your indicators, right? In simpler terms, let's assume that no issues has come in real time when in production, then it means your team is working good, right? So SLA, agreement between client and company. SLO, agreement between your manager and your team. SLI are actual indicators, real-time performance metrics. Very simple. Okay, so let's go ahead now. Very much important. So you see SRE flow. Now this is a bigger picture where we will see, like, it will be a little bit confusing, but make sure you are with me, focus with me. Now, why do SRE exist? Now, in 2015, right, you had only DevOps engineer. Now, people has cut down DevOps engineer and they divided DevOps into SRE, DevSecOps, MLOps, right? DevOps, everything. Okay. Now, why do SRE exist? Reliability matters most. Now, right now, assume that there is a 100 rupees company. Okay, like you can say like 100 billion is equal to 100 rupees for our case. Now 100 rupees company is doing very good. Now assume that for 1 hour their application is down. Okay, now assume what will be the impact. Their users will be feeling bad, this company will be losing its revenue. So that is why SREs are paid more, and even DevOps engineers are paid more, right? So why do SREs exist? Reliability matters most, guys, for any organization. An unused app has no value, but reliability matters most. Now you see there are some arrow marks. What this box will talk about: reliability matters most. Improve or maintain uptime. As I have told you, uptime, how it is maintained? Scalable. You do the scalability, you maintain the reliability, right? So you see what will happen when you improve the uptime or maintain the uptime. You see where are these boxes are going? Load and scale consulting. This is phase 1 development. Now SRE tactics and tools are divided into 3 phases, guys. Okay, phase 1 is development, phase 2 is pilot, phase 3 is you launch and do the things. Now you see how SRE actually increases the reliability or improve or maintain the uptime by using these arrow marks. Load and scale consulting, right? They check like how much load they have to make sure, on what load they have to scale, and all those things they do, right? The second one is monitoring. They do the monitoring. The third one, you see, consolidated search and logging. They put various kinds of logging mechanisms like your ELK, your shell scripting, right? Your any kind of log monitoring dashboards they can put, right? Whatever they feel that okay they need to have for this particular tool, they will be keeping it. And you see 2 more are coming in, and if you see, this has come into 𝐏𝐬 engineering, right? So what is 𝐏𝐬 engineering? It means that this uptime and maintain uptime comes with 𝐏𝐬 engineering. Now what is 𝐏𝐬 engineering? Very much important. 𝐏𝐬 engineering is a term in SRE which means that you purposefully introduce fault into the systems, right? Your production system is there, you go and make one service down, and there is one issue, right? And how much time is taking that issue to get resolved? Or there is some data flowing on, you change the data and you make your application fail. How their application is covering all the things? Suppose infra is there, you make down the infra. Suppose 2 regions are there, US West, US East, you make the East down. So how this load is behaving on this particular West, right? So all those things comes into 𝐏𝐬 engineering. 𝐏𝐬 is nothing but you faultily introduce the errors into the system, right? So you see one more thing is there, load and scale implementation. This we have already seen, right? Now there is something called establish visibility in the app performance. Now application performance monitoring is very much important. Uptime is important. Now how the visibility of application performance is done? You see, monitoring again comes into picture, and here the second one is application performance monitoring. Now what is APM? So guys, everything is interlinked. Now when you get into an SRE team or SRE flow, this is what you need to follow. Now you need to understand, right? When you call like application performance monitoring, it means that once your application is deployed into a server, how that application is performing, how many threads are there, how many heap dumps is there, JVMs it is taking, your metrics, your memory, your CPU, everything. Means here we are talking about application performance only, which is done by New Relic. Let's assume that, right? New Relic agent is there, which always extracts the APM performance of the system and it sends to the dashboard, right? Now you see, right, the third one is set SLIs and SLOs and error budgets. Now SLI, SLOs, and error budgets are very much important. Now you see, right, it comes under monitoring, right, and only monitoring is there. So SLI, SLOs are like how your application is behaving, right? SLI indicators, right? You monitor, you see with your eyes that okay, this is behaving bad, this is behaving good, and your objectives. Based on that, you do the things, right? Now let's go ahead and see to enable developers by lowering delivering cycle and reducing toil. Toil is any kind of uncertain situation or any kind of errors. Now you see to enable developers by lowering delivery cycle, it means that make deployments easier. So SRE is little bit your DevOps also. It goes hand in hand. When someone asks what is SRE, what is DevOps, any difference is there, you always tell that both are hand in hand. They both go hand in hand, right? To enable, you see, make deployments easier, pipelining, which DevOps always do, and SRE also does some part, right? Now you see increase speed by assuming calculated risks, right? SLI, SLO reviews with product managers, right? SLI indicators, SLO objectives, and manager sets all these things with the team, right? So that is what. Now eliminate toil, any issues, any what you call like failures, you spin up the infra automatically, right? You have your infrastructure as a code like Terraform, and you spin up the infra with the help of infrastructure as a code. That is called your eliminate toil, which means that any sudden issues, any sudden things with the infra related things, you resolve that, right? Now reduce the cost of failure to lower new feature cycle time, right? So it means when a new feature has been launched, right, how that failure is being taken, right, how we are reducing that failure. Canary deployments, right? Now what is canary deployments? Very, very much important. Or automated rollbacks. These two things every organization uses, and even our organization uses. So let me explain you what is canary deployment in simple. Okay, now canary is nothing but you have an infrastructure which is in US West. Okay, this is US West. Now your new feature is getting released, your existing application is already there. Okay, assume that your existing application is already there. Okay, I don't have anything to show, but yeah, existing application is already there, and this is 1.1 version, and you are trying to deploy 1.2 version here. Okay, let's assume that it is coming, it is getting deployed. Now canary means initially, right, number of pods are 5. Okay, canary, what it will do is it will make sure 2 pods are only up for the new feature, right? 1.2 version, only 2 pods will be up. It will check that okay, all the system is good, the health checks are good, the system is performing good, then it will deploy all the 5 pods and the existing pod is removed, right? 1.1 version is removed and 1.2 version will be deployed. Now assume that when the 2 pods were coming up, there is some issue, the crash loop back or memory timeout or some CPU error, right, or some application error, then the 1.2 version will be not deployed and 1.1 version will be running. So that's how you reduce the failures, right, of a new feature getting launched. So you see some of the strategies are like this, some of the tactics for this strategy we use. Now very, very much important, uptime, MTTR, MTTA, MTBF, very much important. Now you need to understand, whenever there is an SRE engineer, he or she will make sure that there are some important factors to be noted, right? And these are one of the important criteria which every SRE engineer needs to know. And people will ask you the difference between any of these 2 boxes which you are seeing, this, or any 3. Okay, and it can be your interview question also. Now you see, for example, I had an application. Okay, I am an SRE engineer, and you see, for a 30 days period, okay, I'm only counting 1 month period. How many incidents my application had? 5 incidents, 5 outages my application had. How many hours downtime my application had? 10 hours of downtime my application had, and 180 total minutes to acknowledge. Okay, so you need to understand there is a 1 month period, 5 incidents, 10 hours of downtime, and 180 total minutes to acknowledge. Now let's see what is each block doing here. Okay, uptime, very much important. What is uptime? The percentage of time which companies' solutions are action, right? It means that whatever the application, whatever the infra you have created, it's up and running, and very much the customers are very much happy. So you see 99.99% available, right? It means that total time minus downtime by total time. This is the formula. You don't need to remember, but you need to understand what are these concepts basically. So total time, how you calculate total time? You see, what is the total days I have kept? my application, I am taking 30-day count period, right? In one day, how many hours are there? 24 hours, right? So 24 into 30, it's 720, right? So 720 minus how much downtime I had? 10 hours of downtime divided by total downtime, it comes to 98.61% time, right? So it is approximately your 121 hours of downtime each year your application is taking, which we have to reduce. Being an SRE, we have to make sure that, okay, we will be making lesser than this for the next quarter or your next 6 months. Like that, we will set the goals, right? Now, what is MTTR? Mean time to resolution. It means that the average time it takes to resolve an outage and restore the service to end users. It means that you had an application, you had a site, your application is down. How much time you took to recover that and make sure your happy customers are again, your sad customers are again happy, is called your mean time to resolution. Now, total time downtime by number of incidents. So what is total downtime, right? 10 hours. So in 10 hours, right, how many incidents, right? How many incidents? 5 incidents. So each incident, how many hours it took to resolve? 2 hours. Very simple. Okay. Now, MTTA, mean time to acknowledge. When an issue occurs, the SRE is the person who acknowledges the incident, right? So the average time it takes for a new open incidents to be acknowledged. Very simple. So I told, right, when a site is there, when an issue comes, the SRE person gets that issue. He will wake up and he will actually try to acknowledge. So time to acknowledge, you see 180 total minutes by number of incidents. So number of incidents are 5. So it means 36 minutes per incident is the time to acknowledge, right? So one incident time was 36 minutes it took to acknowledge. We have to reduce it more. Maybe we can consider like, I will make my customers more happy by acknowledging in 15 minutes, right? So mean time between failures. Okay. So there are 5 incident outages. So how much time between each incident it was for my application? Let's see. Mean time between failures. The average time from one incident to the next is called your mean time between failures. Now, total time, right? What is the total time? 720, right? 30 into 24 hours per day minus downtime is your 10 hours divided by number of incidents, 5. So it means 142 hours, 1 outage per week, right? Now, it is very much important that we are getting 1 outage per week. So we have to make sure we are trying to reduce this, right? Which is very bad. 1 outage per week, no company will take it for guarantee. But we as an SRE engineers can improve this. So what I will do is basically, I will make sure that the mean time to acknowledge is increased. Let's take, I will tell to my team being a manager, like, okay, 15 minutes I have to get the acknowledge, we have to give the acknowledgement to the other teams. Let's take 1 hour per incident, I will make it. Let's take 142 hours is there, we will make it like 137, 135 or 134. Okay. So I hope you have liked the video. This is all about your SRE concepts. Stay tuned. Next video will be coming soon. I hope you have liked it. And also do check out all the links in the description. The Prime Batch 4.0 is launched successfully and it is running successfully. Almost enrollments are getting closed. And so many people have already registered. Believing me, I'll be with you, everyone, making sure you are able to crack good organization in the coming days. This is Singham signing off. Meet you in another video. Take care.